Hello everyone and welcome back to Sendix Weather Channel. Today we're going to take a look at the latest from the models for the next few days and the next couple of weeks. We'll be having a look at all of the latest data from the main models such as the GEM, the GFS, the ECMWF, the UK Met and the Icon, and we'll be having a look at everything in a moment. Now I just wanted to look at the facts charts. This shows where little systems and areas of low pressure and little features are. This is showing for Saturday at midnight on Saturday. As you can see, this front here could be producing a little bit of winteriness on its northern edge, most likely rain, but on its southern edge would most likely be rain. But on its leading edge, areas of Wales could see some snow, even in the southwest, like over Exmoor and Dartmoor. Over higher ground, could see a little bit of winteriness mixing in. However, the probability of that is uncertain. If we look further on, little features may affect the southeast barely. Little features, little bits may move in. So 12 midday on Saturday, there could be a little feature moving into the far southeast, producing a little bit of stuff on its of rain, sleet, and snow on its leading edge. Little features do move through, as you can see, but obviously that's a long way off. But I just want to show that quickly. Now, what I did want to say before we begin is we'll have a look at a couple of snow charts and a couple of precipitation charts to have a look at the trend over the weekend and into next week. However, don't be taking anything you've heard from like tabloids, newspapers, anything like that seriously. There's no heavy snow, no big 550-mile-an-hour wall of snow. I'll give you the facts and say that none of that is true. We'll give you the proper rundown right now. So we're going to have a look at the UKV, UK Metafish run, and I'll tell you why we're not seeing much snow around, and a lot of it could be rain for the southeast with these little systems. So through today, pretty dry, a couple of showers in the far southeast, but again, all of that will be rain because we haven't get the cold air in yet. Obviously rain, and then as we move into Friday evening, we begin to drag in the wind from the east as high pressure centres itself to our northeast, bringing the wind in from the east, and some of these showers may turn wintry. Oh, but where's my big wall of snow? I hear some of you say. Well, a lot of it is rain, especially on the southern side of that system I mentioned. So on that southern side, a lot of this is likely to be rain because the upper temperatures are about right. They're about minus 7, minus 8, but the dew points are above freezing. So anywhere where the dew points are above freezing, all of this will be just primarily rain. So anywhere in the southeast is most likely to see rain unless you're over some higher ground. And then if we have a look further on, see some of that on its leading edge could turn to snow for central and northern Britain, maybe the Midlands at times, and obviously southwestern and western Wales as well, or northern western Wales. Before little weather fronts move through, but a lot of this in the south and east is most likely to be primarily rain. Could be wrong and could change very short notice. Then we get a drier day through Sunday with a few patchy showers, and then into Monday the showers increase with winds in from the east again. With more showery activities, we get an area of low pressure moving in. Upper air temperatures are pretty cold with this system. Could be as low as minus 10 on the far east coast. And with that, some of these showers may actually be more wintry towards the middle of, towards the start of next week. This is 12 midday on Monday. And you can see some of these showers as we move further inland are turning a little bit more wintry. But what you have to remember is a lot of these zones on the map are like the Pennines, the high ground, Peak District sort of areas. But most areas will probably just see a mix of cold rain and maybe some sleet. You're more likely to see snow with little features through Monday and Tuesday as we get some colder air moving in for a time, wrapped into a little system. That's when you're more likely to see some little snow, little features moving in. We'll move on to the icon very quickly and then we'll get on with the data. And if you have enjoyed today's video, then please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. We're on the road to 1,300 subscribers, and I greatly appreciate everyone that subscribes to the channel. We've got a different background today because the sun's really bright in my room, and I do apologise about that. But let's get on with things then. This is the icon for Friday into Saturday. As you can see, the front of the low pressure is slightly further southwards, so on its northern edge, bit more snow, but again, lots of rain mixing in. Most likely to over Exmoor, Dartmoor, higher ground of Wales to see snow. If you want snow. Saturday into Sunday looks quite dry with the icon. Then into Monday, some more persistent area of rain, sleet and snow moves in from the east. Could be some heavier bursts, but like I said on my Twitter post, if you follow me on Twitter, a lot of this is likely to be quite light, quite patchy, quite hard to forecast. You can see a lot of this snow for central and even into the south there is all quite patchy, quite light, might not even happen. The only part where it might be a bit heavier is for Scotland. Accumulations aren't expected to be too much significant or anything with this. Might get 1 to 2 centimetres in a few hilly areas, like, might get up to 5 centimetres in hillier spots. So you'll see by this, there's not much going on. Might be a couple of patchy accumulations, but we're not expecting much at all. But yeah, whatever you've been reading, if you have been reading any of these reports online, they're all talking out the bum, because it's not going to happen. Now, if we have a look at the GFS, we'll look at the longer term now. Now, some people have been saying about like colder weather returning. The likelihood is unlikely at the moment, but it's not out of the question. So if we have a look at the longer term, you can see that for the next week, we are below average. There could be some snow potential at times, but again, not much where I am, for example, in Barnsley. Pretty central, not too much chance. If we look at the longer term, the ensemble mean is dipping around average, is going around average, returning to around average, you could say, with some colder runs mixed in and a lot of milder runs mixed in. The likelihood is, again, there's still some uncertainty with this. If we have a look at the ECM ensembles, they've just come out for the midnight run. They're, again, pretty close to average. A few colder runs, a few milder runs, a lot of scatter. More scatter than the GFS, which kind of looks terrible. But, again, there's the potential for it to turn colder, but, again, it's not in the highest likelihood at the moment. Probably in quite a low likelihood if we're to consider things properly. Now, if we have a look at the UK Met Office first then, for the longer range runs, you can see there's that area of low pressure to our south on Friday, which could bring some precipitation of rain, sleet and snow on its northern edge for western, for Wales and maybe even parts of the south there, but most likely in the south, close to the coast, with the milder air masses mixing in, most likely rain. Then again, high pressure builds to our northeast again, get a renewed easterly around Monday, but the weekend looks mainly dry. A few with probably quite cloudy, probably a bit of frost and fog around, I'd expect. Then we get another area of low pressure, or a weakening area of low pressure, with the -5 line moving in, maybe bringing in a few more snow showers, a bit more widespread, as we've got more of a deeper low, or like a deeper trough, which could bring some showers for central and eastern areas. Again, that trough moves to the southeast with the UK Met. Again, could increase risk of snow. With the UK Met, it takes the high pressure up towards Greenland, between Greenland and Scandinavia, which may allow the wind to return from the east. But again, a lot of these runs aren't supporting this, so a bit uncertain. But look at the cold air towards Scandinavia and the northeast of this chart. You can see there's some cold air wrapped in. Then we'll take a look at the icon next, which is out to here. So again, very similar, that little trough through Friday into Saturday. Could bring a little bit of winteriness to its northern edge for the south and western Wales, for example. And then we move through again, renewed northeasterly wind. Renewed easterly wind could bring some more snow showers for the south and the west of the Midlands, for example, with those strong easterly winds. High pressure then migrates towards, begins to migrate into the to our north and east, between Scandinavia and Greenland, but doesn't break off from this part, and that's going to weaken as low pressure is about to run in from off the Atlantic. So a bit of a battle going on there. Not all is said and done with this cold, by the way. It could turn cold. Wouldn't take much to get that high pressure to our northeast and start bringing in a cold easterly wind, but at the moment it doesn't look likely. It looks like the UK will be on the mild side again. Have a look at the GFS 6 said. Again, very similar for the next few days. Then we get that renewed easterly wind, and then high pressure kind of sits over and just to the north of the country. Then the high topples under the pressure of the low in around 7-8 days' time. And that topples the ridge, or begins to topple the high pressure over Scandinavia. We go very unsettled and very mild with winds in from the south. Very unsettled. High pressure splits off towards Greenland, but the Atlantic's reigns supreme, with low pressures running in, very unsettled, mild, wet and windy for the second into the third week of February. I mean, that's unsettled, mild, westerly. The GM today shows high pressure to our north and east. Again, winds in from the east at times, bringing in a few wintry showers. Then high pressure of the GEM does migrate properly northwards towards Greenland, and we bring in a proper easterly wind with lots of cold air. But I'm putting a red flag against this one. Met Forecast can have his red flags, but I've got my red flags. That one's a red flag because the GEM was set up to be made to to show cold runs sometimes. It was pessimistic towards cold. It always shows it, so I'm not going to listen to that too much. And I won't trust you to listen to it too much. There's not much support for this sort of pattern. But it could theoretically happen, but I wouldn't put my cards on it at all. I would not expect it to happen. Winds in from the east, there's not much support for it, but keep an eye on it. You never know, it might be right for a change, but I wouldn't put my bets on it. That's for sure. Have a look at the ECM finally, and again, renewed easterlies at times through next week, and then high pressure tries to move northwards, doesn't quite, topples in, and stays around the country, keeping it quite dry, probably quite cold at the surface, quite frosty, but again, not much winteriness around. Look at the end of the run, all that cold to the east. Could be potentially into the third week of Feb for something colder. That's for sure. But what I will say is that my prediction was kind of right. Second week of Feb I said it'd turn colder. It is kind of right. It is going to turn colder. Not ridiculously cold, but it did. So I guess I got that one right. Not greatly right, but I got it right, technically. The strat as well. Is looking quite strong. Polar vortex is not being displaced anymore, not being broken apart, kind of sticks together, and we don't really see much interest there. The GFS quickly got rid of its idea of a strat warming. I'm not really sure what happened there, it kind of fell off. But yeah, bit of a messy video. The AO is dropping as well, but the NAO is staying positive, just about. That reduces the chance of any cold weather occurring for very long. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little bit messy around, but I hope that some of you like the style, and I hope I talked a bit better than usual. And yeah, that's it then. So I'll see you all in the next weather video. Goodbye, everyone.